What is up, Internet Land? Zekimus Prime, aka Zekimus Prime, here with another Transformers video review. Um, Today the figure that we're reviewing is the other half of that Reactivate 2-pack. It is Soundwave, the Reactivate Transformers Reactivate Soundwave. I reviewed Optimus Prime a little bit ago, and I mentioned that I was going to split each 2-pack into 2 reviews because I felt that each one was deserving of its own review. So here is the Soundwave. Now, my first impression of Soundwave when I saw the pictures of him all those months ago is that I thought that he looked scrawny, that like Prime looked swole, and Soundwave just looks like he skipped leg day and arm day and like everything but like get that backpack on day. And you know what? There's still a little bit of that, but it's really not bad. And it doesn't come across nearly as obnoxiously in person as it did in the videos. And so it's actually really, really pretty dang cool, actually. One of the things that did bother me once I was messing with this is that you've got this one tab that holds on this whole thing. You flip that tab up and like everything is disconnected. Nothing really pegs in. But again, the joints that hold them on are pretty strong, and you don't really have a problem with it. So I'm not going to have a problem with it. I think there's not really a problem to be had here. The sculpt is really great. I do like his like mean looking Soundwave face. It's all aggressive looking. I like that. Some good like greebles and stuff. Good paint apps too. Some silver here, silver and black on the shins. One of the things that's interesting to me is that in this 2-pack with Optimus Prime and Soundwave, there's no battle damage on any of them. Whereas in the other 2-pack of Bumblebee and Starscream, both of them look like they've been heavily damaged and partially rebuilt. So I'm sure there's a reason for that, a reason which will be revealed to us when we play the game, whenever the frick the game is coming out. But anyhow, I would rather have a delayed good game than a rushed crappy game, so again, not having an issue. He does come with a couple accessories. Those are his guns. They went to quite an extent to make sure that his handgun looks like, you kind of think Soundwave's handgun normally looks, but they didn't do anything like that for his shoulder gun. I kind of feel like his shoulder gun being that like the like look of the shoulder cannon is more, it's more key to the figure than his handgun, but yeah, I don't know. We'll go with it. No opening chest or anything like that. This is just cosmetic. I like the way it looks. I don't have a problem with it just being cosmetic and not actually opening up. Especially with how complex this transformation is, they would have had to really make some deep considerations to have that open. And for what we get, a tiny little Ravage. Actually, that sounds really cool. A tiny little laser beak or whatnot. Yeah, whatever. But yeah, his gun can stay on throughout all of his modes in the transformation, so I'm not going to be taking this off when I do anything else with it. This is staying on for the rest of the review. I will be taking the handgun off for actually showing off. You can store it here, both in robot mode and in vehicle mode, right here on the back. It just hangs out there. Let's talk about his posability real quick. So his little gun will go up and down. It'll also rotate side to side a little bit. Pegs being the cylindrical things that they are. His head is on a ball joint, but it's mostly just going to look up a bit and turn side to side, of course, as much as you need it to. Shoulders are on ball joints. They'll go all the way around and come out for the full tree pose. He has a cut bicep swivel, so that'll rotate there just fine, and a single joint bend at the elbow for just the barest like 91 degrees, not much at all. He's got a wrist swivel, that's fine. He's got a waist swivel, that's nice. He doesn't really have, like, if you bend him at the waist, everything will start to come loose. But it is not a waist joint, it is everything coming loose. His joint to kick forward is, what do they call that? Eccentric? In that the pivot point is actually fairly forward, so he'll high kick quite a bit. The downside of that is he will go backwards, pretty much not at all. His leg goes out for about 70% of a Van Dam. And you do have a thigh swivel right there and a deep bend at the knee. Nice. His legs are just on this pivot here on the swivel. They will ankle tilt, not go forward and back at all. And that is Soundwave in a nutshell. So he's a decent figure, decent posability. Like, everything's there that needs to be there. And I think I think it looks pretty good, especially if you kind of grab him on, the like off center. Like if you're looking at him dead straight, then it kind of accentuates some of the kind of thinness of his limbs. But if you do things to kind of, like here you're almost overlapping the legs and looking at the arms kind of more from the side, and it kind of balances some of that out. There are ways that you can display him to mitigate that a little bit, but again, in person it really isn't as bad as it was in those initial pictures that we saw. Anyhow, let's get him transformed up. To start, we are just going to take that joint and disconnect it like I mentioned, and this will unfold everything. Like the whole flipping thing will unfold. You can see that windshield come out from behind his chest. And you can fold these wheels out. And then you just kind of put everything where it's supposed to go. That head folds back. You're going to take these arms. They will pivot around on these hinges here. There is these tabs here in the inside of the car. Let me get that properly in focus. These tabs on the inside of this car shell. You'll notice that's most of the car right there. There's slots here on his forearm, so this will rotate all the way around and then just kind of slot into that tab. Like so. And we'll do the same for the other side. Bring that around. Slot that in like so. For these wheels here, you're going to bring this out, bring this up. Actually, they're not going to want to go in there quite yet. But we will just park them here for a moment. For the legs, what you want to do is you want to rotate this leg 180 degrees. Bring this panel out a little bit. Bring this panel out all the way. And then this panel will come back and just kind of hang out here for a second. And we'll do that with the other side. Rotate this 180 degrees. Fold this out. Fold this out. Fold this back a bit. And now we're going to take him and fold him just all the way in half. The feet will tuck up underneath this shell. Where everything goes underneath the shell. You do have this little tab sitting in that wheel well. You want to make sure that that little palm panel attaches onto that. You've got this little tab back here that's going to fit into a slot there. And actually, before we get too far, let's make sure these legs get tabbed together. There are two little tabs here. We're just going to feed that straight in. Plug those tabs in. Plug those tabs in. And that's basically it. You can take this little thing and fold that up. That's some sort of like a communications dish or whatnot. And there's Soundwave in his alt mode, which is some sort of APC of some sort. He rolls fairly well. He's got good, you know, I was going to say he's got good paint apps. Of course, most of his paint apps are up here, and they are the ones that were in the robot mode. But like he's got, you know, black painted windows, some little red accents up here. And all in all, he looks pretty good. Not quite the, you know, I mean, I'm going to be perfectly honest, of the 4 Reactivate figures, this is clearly the worst. However, as a figure himself, looking at him objectively, it's not a terrible figure. In fact, it's pretty damn good. And so, yeah, if the worst Reactivate figure is still pretty damn good, the line is pretty damn good. Hopefully they make more figures from this line. But, yep. In this mode, not a whole lot that it does. It just rolls, and then you can take the cannon and still rotate it around if you want to. This little thing flips up and down, and you can store the gun here, and it doesn't even look terrible, to be honest. And that's all we got. Everybody, thanks for watching. You guys are fantastic. Everybody stay awesome and be good to each other. See ya.